you can conserve the resource of your shield, and then you got more use of it outside, and you can play a game of peekaboo with the Reinhardt as well. You know, much like them, especially in my games anyway, players seem to think if you're around the corner, they just don't exist anymore, much like an infant.
Gone.
Straight away.
It's 5v6 now.
Hopefully AT have the mental capacity beyond that of an infant. I'm hoping that they manage to get to Contenders and go to the Atlantic Showdown as well as they go on to their first offensive against Shoes Money Crew.
Yeah, Shoes Money Crew posting themselves on the high ground for the time being. This gives them a way that they can drop down, but as you can see from the side, Morphig is actually waiting to push them out. Super Plute been brought low!
Going for the old wrap around there from Shoes Money Crew, and they saw AT go into security. They're like, right, they've exposed their flank. We'll just run straight under the arch, and we'll take them from behind.
True tactician there. They've exposed their flank. Yeah, cavalry's in. That was an unfortunate end to the beginning push for Angry Titans in this situation. Shoes Money Crew, for the time being, looking pretty good. I'm liking what Morphig is doing as well, where he was actually posted up inside of security so that he could just push Morsi out when he went by.
They're going to drop down immediately. Mal's just caught off guard there, just burned through. So he jumped in face first and he landed straight on his face, unfortunately. Kevster will find his second kill of this particular fight. Bobbling looking to turn the tide back as A-Fox is giving that Orb of Harmony over to Morsi, who has been DMEC'd. Rally being popped out there by Obling. So this is a full commit here from Shoes Money Crew to try and stop this from losing control altogether. And they've successfully done that for now. They stemmed the flow of AT, who are playing further back. They have lost control of that terrace they were playing out of.
Yeah, they're just bringing back Urki here with Fat, using that speed boost to get back into the fight, knowing that they have some form of advantage here. Gustav going very much in a dangerous position there towards Super Plute. Gets out just in time, but now the Shatter is online. Gets knocked up into the air. It's successful either way.
So he traveled through the air while the EMP came out for Morsi, and he's just able to slam it down with no shield. AT taking control so far. Shoes Money Crew giving him a fight back. Ding, the only one to level out the kill feed. Gonna commit the Transcendence for this one. There's something Shoes Money Crew sees that they think they can invest into. The Graviton being forced out here for AT to find an additional couple of kills. Not so sold on the Transcendence, but it did get extra ults out of AT, who will now move on to the escort section of this map.
Yeah, here basically what needs to happen is Angry Titans probably want to go for a very aggressive push in the beginning here, using that sound barrier advantage. Morsi is found out, and the reason I say that is because Mouse and Morphig both have these big ultimates, the Self-Destruct and the Graviton. Angry Titans need to force the issue early, get these ultimates out of the way, so that the EMP next can have a lot of value.
He's very close to getting that EMP as well. Sombra can just rattle these ones up. As Mouse looking to drop down that Graviton Surge and hold AT at this first point here, not let him get anyway. Almost a yeet coming out there, but they're going to use that sound barrier in there. Morphig with 4. It's so simple. It's so clean for Shoes Money Crew, who now take control of that payload.
Angry Titans like, no one does that anymore. No one does the Self-Destruct Graviton combo, and Shoes Money Crew, it's still around.
It's out of fashion.
Yeah, it's out of fashion, but we're bringing it back. It's Vogue now, baby. Now, Angry Titans, they do have their EMP coming back very soon. Mouse does have to get out of dodge, going fairly low. And really what I want to see from Angry Titans here is them using this EMP to basically springboard themselves into a better ult economy, because that's what the EMP has to be used for here. It's to cheat ult economy.
There's the EMP already. A-Fox has found Croc, so Shoes Money Crew not having the best of times. Transcendence coming out for AT as well will level them out. You see Molf going down ready low. They need to get that kill there, and the DMEC comes in, and straight away Kev's there to pick up the kill. Wobbling. Gonna be swung through. He's just standing there, willing to take it. The Shoes Money Crew will back out this one. Charge not being the most effective for Paluk, and I believe Mouths is now back up as the rest of SMC will be. The payload's well in motion. Need to worry about Crocs though, who's been hacked up. And now he's off to the side. Oh, he got away with that one actually. Got a shield up in the nick of time to deny the hack.
Yeah, snapped the jaw shut there and got himself safely back to his team. I think Shoes Money Crew here had a very good time because A-Fox actually uses Transcendence there, and really with the EMP you want to win it with just a one ultimate and then have all these other ultimates coming to the next fight and putting Shoes Money Crew in a difficult position. Angry Titans, they have to use this Shatter and this Graviton well.
And the Transcendence is going to come in there. Charge will pin Miles against the wall, but he's got a Transcendence to back him up. Shadow coming down. Won't find anyone actually as they go for potentially a counter Shadow from through the payload. Finds Miles on the back line. Orb of Discord immediately goes over to him. So it's just so easy for Kevster to pick that one up. AT have got this train moving, and it's not going to be stopping anytime soon.
Yeah, that Discord Orb is so essential to this team of Angry Titans. 25% extra damage on top of everything. Angry Titans just laying low. Shoes Money Crew there. Fox, I know it's a weird thing to say he does well, but applying those Discord Orbs is something he does excellently. His target choice is really good.
It was just the speed of it as well.
Yeah.
As soon as he was on his back,
Straight.
Discord Orb there and a couple of orbs, giving him the Hail Mary over to the head. And Angry Titans now have that EMP back online, that economic ultimate where, like you said earlier, Blank, they want to try and use the EMP and that's it for the fight. In theory, if you get enough people, they can't use any abilities. You should win the fight without doing it. If everything starts to go sideways, though, they do have double support ultimate. Morsi in a good position here to potentially go for a hack. Is the target he wants to spend this on? No, he's just going to commit straight for the EMP. They got an isolated Reinhardt, self-destruct over the top as well. Everyone has to play around cover, so no one could reinforce Crocs in that instance. Uncertain about the Transcendence being used there by Fox. Don't know if that was the right decision, considering they have such great command over this fight.
Oh, he actually got him. That's surprising. A really big charge there. Yeah, Fox seems to be using his Transcendent at the same time as Morsey using his EMP to kind of secure the fight. Sometimes it's not necessary, other times I'm not quite sure. But one thing I am sure of is Shoes Money Crew had the right idea on that last fight. EMP comes out and Morsey's hidden away to throw in the Diva Bomb to stop any further aggression. Unfortunately, Crocs was just too far away from his team.
We try and isolate Pollitt. There's the counter grab as expected. And Opling going down solo, but he will stay alive until that Flame Strike comes in. Shadow drop down as well. This should be enough for Angry Titans to press this one through, and try as he may, Ding did just not get there in time. Time in the bank for AT as they move on to their defense.
Yeah, I really think that actually Shoes Money Crew had a chance there at that last moment. If Crocs hadn't been pushed so far away from his team and didn't rush so far forward, I don't think he expected the EMP so quickly. That or he was trying to bait it and he just baited himself a little bit. Morphic getting that Diva Bomb out was really, really good. I'm almost sad to see that go over to Angry Titans, but Angry Titans played perfectly there onwards, using their ultimate economy just to bring the payload all the way home.
Even without the EMP, I feel Crocs was in a dangerous position. Like
Yeah,
you said,
for sure.
we talked about. I thought that we were going to see Morsey go for the hack rather than the EMP. He had every opportunity to do so. Yeah, you can have the quick 180 flick that some Reinhardts can do to deny that. But then when you do that, you've still got the entirety of AT that you're now exposing your back to.
Yeah. I don't know how, it just felt like Crocs was sprinting. I know Reinhardt doesn't sprint, but it did feel like he was sprinting down the point.
But this kind of goes back to that thing about Crocs. Yeah, he's got a lot of potential, but he needs to be tempered with experience. And maybe in the match he's not thinking as clearly and pushing forward and not taking all the factors into consideration, shall we say?
Yeah, it's a gleaming but a little bit dull blade in places. So they'll keep swinging the hammer at it. And I think Shoes Money Crew so far have showed us some really, really good promise coming into this season. Angry Titans, on the other hand, I think they have a couple of mistakes that they're still working out for the time being, but they are showing themselves to be one of these top teams. It's an excellent first match for Contenders because both these teams show themselves to be very, very good.
Absolutely, and AT are going to take that high ground on the terrace like Shoes Money Crew did before them. Difference being is Shoes Money Crew aren't opting to put Molf onto the Sombra or even have a Sombra player at all, so they're going to go for the vanilla Goats v Goats matchup.
It seems that Molf has always been much more comfortable on this Diva. As we've seen so far, he is really good with it, so I mean, why whack him on the Sombra where you can have him on that Diva where he performs really, really well? Ding does find Fat though, that's a massive first pick. Rotation's going to be difficult now for AT.
And Obling's able to pick up another one as well. They have answered 2-1. Shield Bash coming in. Obling just pushing a little bit too far forward into AT, who are able to capitalize off of that one. And Morsey now going for the full retreat. So Shoes Money Crew press on to the point, and it looks like they're going to have a greater timeout to work with if they can just seal the deal here. You can see Gustav's going up for the challenge to try and knock them back, and he's going to reposition himself back onto the point to try and find Urki.
Nice move.
Fire Strike comes through, easily done there. Now he needs to contend with another Lucio coming in, but the reinforcements from AT are present as Morsey will answer onto Mouse. They're just allowing Ding to open this up on the back line with these left clicks, and just finds them heads. It's nice and easy for him. And again, Ding trying to put a highlight montage together on his first game of the season. Welcome back to Contenders. And he's got a couple of headshots to his name.
That was solid. This guy shouldn't be called Ding. He should change his name to Dink, absolutely, because he was popping in that moment. Now Shoes Money Crew, such a convincing win means that coming into the Streets phase, maybe it's going to be difficult for Angry Titans to hold them at this choke where they really want them to.
But this is the thing, if you kind of like semi-retire from the game, if you can still come back and have a similar level of mechanical skill that you had before you left.
You're still relevant.
Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic for him to see. He's got a Transcendence all ready to go for this next fight. We're looking for Crocs to come in there. We'll find the pin. Nice protected barrier, but there's not enough there to save him from the self-destruct from Molf. So excellent synchronization there from Crocs as they're pressing forward with that Transcendence from A-Fox, committing this ult nice and early. The rally as well. Shadow from A. Super Fluke might be able to find some on the back line, but you saw them being thrown into the air as the sound barrier will come out to reinvigorate this fight. Nice charge finds Warzy off to the side. He's able to find a second one, 2 for 2 on those in the past couple of attempts. And Shoes Money Crew will keep this payload moving.
Man, Crocs is really, really good with the charges at the moment. I think in that situation, he set himself up when the bomb came out at the beginning of that fight. Regardless of whether he hit Crocs with the charge, he would have disabled the shield. And then even so, in that moment, Kevster could only save 2 people, himself and someone else, but some people will die. Instead, he hits Kevster, and they can't use the personal.
He was stacking the deck as the self-destruct comes on top of the Transcenders. Morsi finding 2 onto Mouse and Croc. There is 0 frontline for Shoes Money Crew, and it's a fantastic retake from AT.
Not sure that the grab there was necessary towards the end from Kevster. He's going to be a bit bitter about that one, only connecting on Gustav in the end. But now Shoes Money Crew, they have a very aggressive ultimate lineup in the case of the Bomb, the Transcendence, and the Shatter. I think my major concern here, again, they both get it online at the same time. It's the doubles, the bottomals on Angry Titans. How do they use them? Do they use them efficiently? I think that's going to make or break them on this push coming up from Shoes Money Crew.
We've seen A-Fox is very trigger happy when it comes to that Transcendence in particular, so that might be one of the reasons we might see one come out a little bit earlier than the other. In fact, playing very far forward with this one, taking a lot of damage, needs to get himself back to safety. They're playing around the jail right now. The flank coming in from Shoes Money Crew.
Coming now, Crocs. He knows he wants to lay down this hammer. Some point, Morphic can potentially open up to it with a self-destruct to the sky, but it's Ding who begins the fight.
There's the Shatter coming straight in, and it does find one on the back line. Charge follow up again from Crocs. Self-destruct over the top. We'll still find Kevster, just isolated by Crocs. Divide and conquer for Shoes Money Crew, but Pluke brings it back with a hammer to the ground as he presses forward into the rest of Shoes Money Crew, who have retaken everything. That's got a Discord board, and then Molf can just run by him with the drive-by. And Shoes Money Crew are going to move into the final section of this map.
4 minutes coming into point C is a massive time bank here. And Shoes Money Crew, yeah, sure, they don't have an EMP to push through this first choke. What they do have is a Graviton. No ultimates that are defensive on the side of Angry Titans can prevent this from happening. Potentially you can use that budget Transcendence from Urki, but I doubt it's going to be enough. What it all comes down to now is if Morsey can use that self-destruct or the Diva Matrix to prevent this grab from having a lot of value.
Already that Shadow has knocked 2 on the ground. Nice sustain coming in from AT. The rally keeping everyone up as the self-destruct is traded around the back. Beat will be traded, making sure that no one falls victim to the explosive in the sky. That Transcendence now coming out from A-Fox. As Fat still looking to build towards it. A kill onto Crocs will get help with that endeavor. The grab coming out to try and relieve some of the pressure as they press back in, knowing that support ultimate isn't online. Fat's about to have the beat ready to drop again. They've already lost A-Fox. Urki traded 1. Self-destruct forces everyone to come back. Shield now down with Pluke. He immediately answers with the self-destruct, not the self-destruct, the Shatter onto the ground. Ulta being thrown into this fight, and the payload is immobile. It's stationary, and it will not move anywhere.
This was just an indecisive fight from Shoes Money Crew. As soon as that Diva self-destruct came out from Morsey, Mouse was in an excellent position to drop down the grab without the Diva Matrix there present. Instead, he drops it towards the end of the fight. I thought they were in a good position after A-Fox used Transcendence. Shoes Money Crew could just back out there, but instead they continue fighting and just throwing ultimates into the void, essentially.
Crocs getting ready to drop this hammer. They're having a lot of pressure right now. They don't want to let it go. Finds 3 on the back line. Sorry, it's just 1. It's Morsey being dropped down as AT will turn it back around with that fire strike onto Molf, and they press SMC back out of it. They may have had 4 minutes coming into this one blank, but AT have done a cracking job at burning away at that.
Yeah, all this massive amounts of DPS and just momentum coming through point B has just been stopped on point C by Angry Titans, and I think much of that down to is the fact that Shoes Money Crew just did not know how to use their ultimates in that moment. I definitely think that pulling back there would have been the correct decision for them and going again after they had baited out some ultimates from Angry Titans, and now instead, Angry Titans, they've got a great bank to rely on.
Molf's going up high. He wants to rain down some damage from above over the top of the shield here. Gets behind Super Fluke. A lot of attention being played onto him. Graviton will pull them all together. There's the isolating charge coming out from Fluke, but Crocs immediately gets all the support he needs. Armor pack and Transcendence to keep him up. They still isolate him off into the side. Surely they can take him out here. Shadow will come down from Fluke. Finds no one. Self-destruct being thrown into the mix as well. The shielding is there as the rest of Shoes Money Crew will play around the terrain. They've got this payload onto the home stretch. Going to recommit with the sound barrier. There's no ults online from AT to try and contest with this one. Going to throw it down off to the side. Immediately pivots onto Kevster. Crocs knows what he wants to do with these shadows, and he presses the issue as they're on to the final stretch.
He got it round the camper van, as well as down the middle. This man is insane at the moment. He had 2 shatters in one there, and they're just going to push it in. Super Fluke comes out from nowhere.
Nice returning frags coming in from AT. Crocs is still alive, but Kevster has done enough here. Transcendence as well. 1 minute remaining. Shoes Money Crew do have the time and the ultimates to push this just a couple of meters to get it over the line.
What a wonderful retake there from Angry Titans. They are not down and out as of yet. Shoes Money Crew got a couple of ultimates coming to this next one. Angry Titans, though, if they let them mess around a little bit here, they are going to have ultimates of their own. Shoes Money Crew, major thing lies on Mouse here. Can the grab, when it inevitably gets online, be good for Shoes Money Crew?
They don't have the time, though. They don't do this in 30 seconds. They will not get an offensive run. The time bank for AT is too great. If they do this in overtime, they can at minimum get a draw from this map. They cannot get anything greater. So here comes that self-destruct into the back line. The charge is there to isolate. No one's been caught up by that one. Sitting in the rally and the Transcendence to combat. Cancelled out of the shatter. They're going to shut down AT. 9 seconds remaining. If they can just stay alive longer, they're going to force out the overtime. AT have done enough to linger here. 3, 2, done. He does it with 1 second remaining. They will get one last offense potentially here.
Shoes Money Crew by the wire in that last moment there. That was one stressful situation. 1 minute to 2 minutes 49. They've got to make that 1 minute count here. It's a soldier's minute. Every second counts here, and it all boils down to how they make this push work.
It was one of those blink and you miss it. Too close to call there potentially whether they would have got it. They were able to clear off. The grab coming in from Mounds, you pointed out before that final fight, it did come in towards the rest when the action had actually concluded, but it was enough to keep the lingering members of AT off that point to allow that 1 second to come in. Because if they would have just touched for 1 second to stop that payload, overtime, different story. So Mouse may not got it off in the fight, but the grab was important nonetheless. Now, Shoes Money Crew will go on the offensive, like you said, with that soldier's minute to try and put as much of a dent into AT as they can, who are going to be storming at them with nearly 3 times the time.
Yeah, I mean, if Shoes Money Crew got a soldier's minute, Angry Titans, they've got an absolute bunker that they have to burst through. So at the moment, what I'm really looking for is more of these big plays from Obbling, from Shoes Money Crew. So far, he has been huge.
Massive stun.
Massive stuns all over the place. This guy's been playing very, very well, and it seems he's come back from Season 1 reinvigorated for this season. Angry Titans, however, they want to stop Shoes Money Crew here and secure the victory for themselves and put themselves on match point coming into Havana.
Want to drop down from the high ground. Terrace seems to be the place, the prime real estate on this defense.
Yeah.
As Ding and the rest of Shoes Money Crew not going to go through security. Going to try and weave round to the left. They bait down the drop. Now, what can they do with this? As Mob will find AFOX, so that's quite a lot. Unless AT can pull this one back, they may have already lost this one. Super Fluke's there with the hammer swing into Crocs. And they emerge through here. You need to be retreating with your Shoes Money Crew. If you're not getting the picks you need to do. Hang on, Ding's charging up the right click onto the side. Want to try and get the D-Mech here. Needs to focus on the heals from Molf. 20 seconds remaining. They're going to have one more push to do this one. AT will get the reinforcements in time for the final fight.
Effectively 5v6 here because Angry Titans Mozzie is not quite in mech yet, so time is of the essence for Shoes Money Crew. They need to find a pick early on. Now, that top side, it's free real estate for Shoes Money Crew. They have taken it, but Super Fluke, he has a shatter. Can he end it all with this?
Wants to jump behind that shield or wait for the moment for the bash to come in, but the attack line, you've already seen Molf heading straight there. He will get D-Mech, but Mouse already found him, drops the self-destruct. Shatter comes in. It's not going to happen because Super Fluke unable to find that one. They're locked up. Shoes Money Crew have the man advantage. Looks like they're going to get away with the cap and move into the escort section of the map as they try and get extra ult charge on the way out.
I've been really impressed with Mouse. Over that moment on point C, this guy has been playing way more stable than we saw him in Season 2. Find the kills where it counts. Now they have a massive ult economy here coming into point B. Angry Titans, what it feels to me is when Super Fluke has that shatter online, he's far too focused on making sure it goes through rather than playing that shield war, playing that mind game versus Crocs. Now, Angry Titans, they have to stop them here. If they can push just around this corner, it's going to be a lot easier to push on through to the end of point B.
In overtime, they just need to get Shoes Money Crew off the point. If you have potentially 6 ultimates coming on the line, if you get the right combo, that's all you need to end the track. So if they can just wait a little bit, play this slow, and that's not something the Mount's going to let them do as he drops that Graviton Surge in. The charge already comes in from Crocs to get that kill. Going to go with a counter grab. They want to end it here despite already starting off with a man down. They may be throwing away their best shot at stopping the Shoes Money Crew trade.
Oh, it's massive!
Finds it through the payload. Will get one off the point, but they need to commit back in here. The kills have opened and the floodgates are down for AT. They need to try and finish everyone off as they move them away from the point. You're going to have that Lucio lingering. There comes the sound barrier from AT to force them out. Overtime's going to tick down. They cannot touch. It was too late for Crocs to get in position. So they did capture point A and got the payload moving. That's really good for what they can hope for with the 1 minute time bank.
It was a huge shatter from Super Plug. I mean, I'd said he was focused on it before, but now he was really focused in that moment, and it paid off in a big way. Gustav actually, towards the end of that, tried to get the sound barrier out in time, but Super Plug actually shattered him out of the animation and cancelled that one, so there wasn't even sound barrier in that situation, even though he'd been so patient to hold on to it through that Graviton before. But still, it's not an easy task now for Angry Titans. They have to take all of point A. They have 2 minutes 49 to do it, but there's still an opportunity for Shoes Money Crew to hold them on point B. So even more options available to them, even more mistakes that could be had for Angry Titans.
They now move on, like we said, with nearly 3 times the time bank Shoes Money Crew had. They can get a successful first push and have about 2 minutes, minute and a half to play with. They could definitely match that distance set by Shoes Money Crew and walk into the final map, potentially final map anyway, the way this series is going. I think it's the 5th map with that advantage and take it to series points. We move on to Havana, which I feel is going to be very much a wild card map for these teams because of the infancy of it in competitive rotation.
For sure, these maps are known to these teams. Surely they've been scrimming on Havana but never played in a competitive environment. So whoever takes this map is definitely going to have an edge coming into the next one on Havana here, where things start to get a little bit wacky.
Well, here's Shoes Money Crew using the Ana variant, putting Ding onto that instead of his patented Zen Yata, but it's Morsey still rolling out with a Sombra, a pick that AT have shown to have confidence in.
Yeah, it's the probability monster here. At some point, he will get that EMP online, right? And when it does happen, Shoes Money Crew, they better be prepared. And it's got to be Crocs who has to be the most prepared. They do have that Ana and that Bio Grenade.
They're pressing on to the back line. They force Shoes Money Crew out of the fight. Obling's very low. Can't find the hands from A-Fox to secure the kill. The shield comes back up. Obling's off to the side. They're trying to keep Morsey up, who's about 70%. So that EMP so close to coming online. He's built that up incredibly fast. They push him forward, but there's the Nano Boost coming into Ding as the rest of 18 just have to retreat here. Let this ultimate expire. They still have time to play with. They don't want to challenge Crocs. He's then going to fall back, knowing that the EMP and the EMP's coming online and the Nano Boost has expired. Ding on the back line. Bionane used defensively to keep him up. They can't deny the healing. There's the Graviton Surge. Pluke's already been found. Kev's will answer on the Croc. Urki follows up with a kill. Morsey can hold on to this EMP now that AT have the advantage and can win it out. This is disastrous for Shoes Money Crew if it moves on to the escort, and Morsey can end it all with one press of the Q.
Absolutely, and there's a shatter coming as well. The optimal ultimate to combo with this EMP when it obviously will come out this next fight, laying Crocs' shield bare in this situation. It will be Morphic once again. I want to see him hiding well. Him or Gustav ready to drop down their ultimate at a moment's notice to prevent this disaster in the mix.
Morsey's hiding behind them. He has the EMP ready. No one's checked anyway. He's just going to walk behind him. D close for the EMP. It's huge. It finds the barrier, and the shadow drops down. The charge is good as well. Obling tries to bring it back onto Urki. The Transcendence is there from A-Fox coming in afterwards. Graviton will only find Kevster. Sound barrier has to come out nice and early as they're looking to finish off this kill. It's not decisive from AT as the Grav is committed onto the back line. The bomb is there as well. 100 energy. And they weren't able to touch. AT will take the lead in this series as we look to move on to our 4th map, Havana.
I think Morphic maybe had a chance there at the end to drop down the Selstro into the sky, but it wasn't to be. Gustav, though, I got to commend the lad. Great positioning with that sound barrier in the end to drop it out and make sure his team stayed alive. It was unfortunate Crocs wasn't there because without that Reinhardt, they struggled to stabilize. But yes, we will be going on Havana next, a map that's a little bit unknown here. We'll see how teams do want to play this one out.
Unknown players, unknown maps. We potentially have one more for you, depending on how Havana goes. We'll find out after the break. Welcome back to the debut day of Season 2 of Overwatch Contenders, and we have a scoreline 2-1 in favor of AT. We're moving on to our fourth map. It is the competitive debut of Havana here in Europe, and I'm excited to see what these teams are going to pull out on this relatively unknown map.
Yeah, for sure. In Overwatch League, we saw a lot of Orisa going on between teams. I think she's very good for pushing these narrow streets. But I'm interested, to see what happens in Europe. Europe is...
it's a beast of its own.
It's a beast of its own. This region has done things like... it's done some strange stuff, so I wouldn't be surprised to see something different here on Havana. They may just default to 3-3, where both teams are comfortable. That seems to be what teams do as the series progresses, go to back something that they know and love.
There's that big blue button on the desk when things go wrong, and it's just like, I don't know what to
go
do.
3-3!
Don't know what to do. It's like sweating as well, and it's like slam that blue button. It's like, go goats.
Yeah, dude. I think it's probably one of the easiest things to do in this situation. I think that, however, with the high ground and a lot of other stuff that is available for you in Havana, things like a proper bunker with a Batiste and a Bastion are definitely available to you. As you can see on your screen, just in that middle window there, a lot of teams like to post up because the amplification matrix actually covers the entirety of that window there. It's pretty tough to deal with, especially as a team trying to get up, and Arissa's like, my shield's down, I have another one, oh, it's down also.
Part of me wishes sometimes we had those boards like you had when you were in school where you could write on them with the pen and they were on the projector.
Yeah.
And so we could just, like, while it was a pause screen, you could just like have you walk over and go right here and circle it out for everyone.
There.
Would make the explanations a lot easier, but I think you painted a clear enough picture for people to know what we're looking at.
Considering I'm from the northern reaches, I think I did an okay job.
Did you even have whiteboards when you went to school? Like,
No,
I know
mate.
it was bad up in the north.
I had a chalkboard. It was
Chalkboard
it
still?
was a blackboard, man.
When were you in school?
But in 1920s, bro.
1920s.
I'm an old
You're
man.
younger than me.
I'm an old man.
Oh my goodness. Well, you're an old man in everything but biological age.
Exactly, yeah. There were some technical advancements back in the day. Never to be heard of again.
But that amp matrix is an option for that bunker composition in that narrow area. It's a lot to use with, and bunker is a composition we'll be seeing more of as the day progresses and we move on to things. Thankfully, that pause has been resolved, so we're going to jump straight back into the action, potentially conclude this series. And I keep throwing potentially in because I'm adamant the way this series has gone, we could
come back.
We can go to that fifth map, and today I'm not going to leave you in suspense. If we go to a fifth map, it's going to be Ilios. So, especially considering how proficient we saw Halt Hook combos coming in here, on a map like
Ooh, spicy.
Spicy environmentals galore if we get that far.
Yeah, we're literally like the... Oh, that's not taco. I'm an idiot.
Looks like a Cornish pasty, mate.
Yeah. I'm an idiot. Oh, well. But Angry Titans... They are going to be the ones on defense here.
Is empanadas Spanish for pasty?
There's bloody empanadas here too.
Those look like pasties, mate.
It's a Cornish pasty. What the hell? Okay, Angry Titans. They're on defense. They are just defaulting to the 3-3. They have hit the blue button, with the exception of Afox, who has jumped onto this Ana here, thinking that he's probably not going to get a lot of opportunities, get those sightlines going for the Zen. I think there is a lot of high ground available to him, so he can lock them down with a bio grenade, but they are just watching them like beasts outside the window.
Just keeping an eye on them, playing it nice and close to the door so far.
Calm them.
There you go. Come and have a go if you think you're hard enough. There's Shoes Money Crew. We'll move around and look to take control of the payload. And then AT just going to walk back slowly, but still not give away too much ground let this go. They're squaring off. Square go like, mate, as they look to throw it down. A couple of Oi Bruvs coming in as well as Pluk is being forced forward. Very low down. The Discord orb was just so free for Ding to get on there. And it's easy for Mouse to pick up the kill as well. So without that big shield, now AT are just caught in a trap. If they don't get some kills back, they're going to lose so much. And they've left Morsey's the sacrificial lamb, who won't get staggered out because Ding is just that bloodthirsty.
Ding's just like, I'll give it you. Come here. He's slinging hands, bro. He's slinging hands. Anyway, Shoes Money Crew, they do break that hold pretty quickly, which means that Angry Titans might even have to concede this high ground here, making their point A pretty much forfeit, especially with Mao's taking such a forward approach here.
Mouse is going to keep dealing that damage. Very close to the ultimate. Has a slight edge over the Kevster, but it's not an insurmountable one in forms of ult rotation. Sleep on the back line there. Crocs will be picked off afterwards. Not going down, just getting a little bit of extra attention. As Urki will pop that rally as they move forward. Mal's pushing in, trying to find the damage, and maybe Biohorn can choose. Crocs will slam down onto Afox. The Fire Strike comes through, and it's for Ding to find the kill. The charge cool for naught, but it does reposition him behind AT, and now they have a pincer coming on, as Crocs will get that kill onto Super Pluk and force the payload to keep on moving onto that final corner, and also, I believe, into the next section.
Yeah, there may be an opportunity for a retake, but I doubt Angry Titans will take it here, Tridd, just like you said. I think they want to hold on to some of these ultimates, the ones they have remaining. Choose Money Crew, however, they've got some of their own. Ding and Gustav once again with that combo, but it looks like Angry Titans do want to take the fight.
They're going to walk it straight into a Graviton Surge. Thankfully, a beat is there. Transcendence chase. Look at the bomb spray on top of them. Oh, not going to find anything. The charge comes in a little bit too late to deny it. Counter Shatter coming in from Crocs as he will put a shield up. Molf able to find Fat with that bomb. And now you've just got Morsi skirting around. He's going to get delayed and staggered out as expected, but they have to finish him quick because he's denying the next section. 4 minutes 12, moving into point B.
Fairly successful hold, actually, for Angry Titans towards the end there, though. They did manage to force out a lot of ultimates from Shoes Money Crew, despite only using a couple of their own. Aafox still building towards his Transcendence now, which is going to be crucial when Mouse gets his Graviton online. Oppling and Urki both have these rallies, so there's no rally advantage to either side. I would hope to see Urki take a proactive position in the backline, however.
There's a bit of an echo when it comes to the Brigittes as they pop the rallies at the same time. They're going to be looking to carry on. Crocs going down very low. I'm surprised he's not died. Same with Molf, actually, as Kevster is the first casualty for Mouse to pick up here. Ding with the right click. We're going to find something. Only a couple of those orbs connect. Not enough to find a kill, but it is enough to scare Urki enough to move into cover, who is quite isolated from the rest of his team. Transcendence now online if they want to use. Mouse has that, but it's the Shatter coming down onto 3 members that should seal the deal here for Shoes Money Crew.
Ding is furious.
Ding is furious. So is Crocs. He's having such a fantastic debut in Contenders.
This team, Shoes Money Crew, they just look alive right now. Just the heart is pumping for this team. They look so much better than they did in Season 1. Some excellent pickups from them here. Ding really bringing it together, bringing that like DPS potential to the team.
There's that grab being committed immediately to the team. Urki's just so easy. This is just so by the numbers for Shoes Money Crew. They're making it look effortless when they're just committing the ults when they need to. They have the economy advantage, so it does make it even easier for them. They will move on to the final section with 4 ults still in the bag. The closest response from AT is that self-destruct from Morsi, but I'm more concerned about Pollitt getting out of his life here as they are taking the fight straight to SMC.
Oh my god, I'm actually slightly terrified of this team. They do not let up whatsoever. Escort seems to be their playground, and Havana, although unknown to us a little bit in the competitive scene, it looks like Shoes Money Crew have been practicing this one for weeks. Angry Titans, they have their ultimates coming online now. They have to defend this.
Crocs trying to get behind the shield. The grab is there, so is the bomb. Aafox already found Obbling, and they're going to trade it off. Transcendence being used as well. Support ultimates actually being layered over there by AT, so you had the sound barrier come out for good measure. Urki's got the rally, and when AT were behind in ult economy, you can't be doing stuff like that as well, because now Shoes Money Crew are just going to punch back harder. They got the grab, the shatter, the rally, as well as that beat if things start to go sideways. Gonna have to throw out that grab first, and there we go, the first combination coming in. There's the charge.
Oh, he misses it.
Actually missing out on that pin there. Could prove detrimental to them, as Gustav's already been picked off from the back end of that one. So somehow AT not necessarily earning their way back into this game, but they are back into it.
Yeah, Crocs, I think, just misjudged it. I don't know, depth of field problem there for himself. Or he's got one eye closed or something. But yeah, that charge actually led to the loss of that fight. Fat thought he would be in a 5v6 situation after that. Shadow comes down, everyone.
Just able to get their fly strike coming through onto Obbling as well. Shoes Money Crew, the HP bars are rattling off like equalizers. They're trying to get back now. AT are pushing them even further away from that payload and burning more and more of the time bank. As Kevster has that Graviton online, ready for the next fight.
It seems to be point C is where Shoes Money Crew seem to struggle the most. Big grab.
Shatter immediately coming out as a counter response there, but they can't do anything with it as they're locked up in place. Mouse still able to find Kevster. Transcendence just not in time, as Mouse will still have that Graviton surge. I think he wants to hold on to it for a future fight, because this should be going in the way of Shoes Money Crew, as the self-destruct will come down. Another charge from Crocs onto the back line. Not finding anything, but Mouse has found 2 on the Zarya without the use of the ultimate. Burn through Super Pluke, push this payload onto the home stretch, and you still have 1 in the bag to seal the deal.
Got to be proud of this lad, Miles. I mean, after having such a rough season last time and come back to this with a ferocity that we're seeing today, it's really, really good. Holding on to that Graviton is a tough decision to make, but it will mean that if they can get the Graviton and the bomb combo off at the end here, it will secure a clean pathway for the payload to make its way to the end of point C.
Moth might want to skirt in a deeper bomb here if he's just able to get off to the side. He has been spotted out, and now he's being paid a lot of attention. Thankfully, he can just dip set out the back, not having to worry about that at all, as he gets behind the rest of his team in a better position to support his front line with that defense matrix. As Crocs wants to play a little bit more aggressive now, knowing he has that in the back line. Morsey getting that eat in on Mouse. That's unfortunate. Shatter and the self-destruct as well. Obling burnt out. So that's the first consumption we've seen coming out here. And what a time to do it when you're on the final meters of the fight. With 50 seconds remaining, no offensive ultimates available for SMC. The same can't be said for AT when you're looking at the board.
Yeah, it was a really important ultimate there. It's so sad to see as well, Miles. His patience, it would have paid off if only he could have hit that Graviton there. But instead, Morsey basically eats almost 2 grabs, considering the time that Miles had to waste holding on to that one. So that's a huge moment for Morsey here. And like you say, Angry Titans now have a lot of the offensive capabilities they need to hold out here for the next 18 seconds.
Playing around that passive cover. This Pluke staring down Crocs. They're going to go through this left entrance and wrap around the back. There's the grab on the entrance to condense them all together. Mouse is burnt down with the charge to seal the deal. They're keeping him locked in this room. They will emerge with the sound barrier. The Shadow will lock Obling down and keep the rally away from a portion of his team. The Transcendence comes back in. AT have got a couple of kills. They just need to find some more to seal the deal, keep them away. The repositions are there. The kills dominating the feed in favor of AT. They will shut down the push from Shoes Money Crew, inches away from completion.
Yeah, such a huge amount of momentum going through point A and point B, but come point C here, Shoes Money Crew, they falter. And Angry Titans, a team can only stumble for so long before it falls or stands up, and here on Havana point C, they have stood up tall.
Still impressed massively by the likes of Crocs coming in onto this one. Yeah, we saw some fallacy, particularly with that charge that was a little bit absent from its target, and it did cost the fight, but
yeah,
micro mistakes, they can happen, and they will happen ultimately, no matter how experienced you are.
A lot of time they happen for Shoes Money Crew, they're quite fatal. Yeah,
when everything goes right for Shoes Money Crew,
it's good.
It's good. You can say that about a lot of teams, but I feel like with Shoes Money Crew, they have... It's almost looking like ritualistic fighting from them. It's like if something just goes slightly wrong, one milliliter less of this particular ingredient in the recipe, it all comes out a little bit sour. Yeah. But with Shoes Money Crew, if they get the balance just right, they are playing very decisively, and it's really keeping the momentum going in this particular roster when it comes to fighting against AT. In terms of one of the things we noticed about AT last season was the particular game plan was just basically they stand there in a line and then they point at the Zenyatta.
Get him!
You. Yeah. Now. That's not really happening to Ding so much. I don't know if it's the fact that AT have changed the playstyle a bit with the new roster, or Ding and SMC are doing a pretty good job of keeping him safe when he is playing on that Zenyatta.
So what I've seen mostly throughout this entire series is that whenever Morsey is on the Diva and he tries to go for the backline of Shoes Money Crew, or he's even seen at all, they pay a massive amount of attention to this lad and they try and get rid of him ASAP. You see his health bar going down very low compared to all the full HP bars of everyone else on Angry Titans. So Shoes Money Crew, I think they know what they want to do, how to deal with this, but now they have to hold on point C, which is going to be difficult. All Angry Titans really have to do is get to the end of this map. Shoes Money Crew, they have a massive amount of things to prove here.
And a pick for Ding, paying them dividends so far. They just couldn't find the DPS onto Super Fluke because that Bionade came in, but there's that brief window to really capitalize on it, and it just didn't come out in time. Did put AT on the back foot a little bit, but now Shoes Money Crew are in full retreat and the payload's in motion. The difference being is that AT didn't have to get any kills to make that happen.
No, they just kind of just forced him away, just gave him a good old shove, and now Shoes Money Crew are back towards the end of point A. Obling now has the rally, out comes the nano boost.
Straight onto Crocs, who's going to be that target moving in. He's got a Discord on him to try and push back on some of that resistance coming in from the nano boost, but Shoes Money Crew have done what AT failed to do, which is shut down the momentum in this point A section before it even gets off the ground.
Yeah, and that's the strength of the nano boost, is that no matter how powerful the push is from Angry Titans, if they all try and flood onto Crocs, he has a very good ultimate to keep him in the fight. That 300 HP heal from the Nano Boost is massive when it comes down to it. But now Angry Titans, they have a lot of offensive ultimates here now, Tridd. They can move on to this point. What I'm again looking is no layered support ultimates.
There's that grab, kick things off, they're going for the charge instead. You had someone charged off into the distance, Transcendence trying to answer them on top of the Graviton Surge laid out from Mal. Sound barrier and the shadow coming in, not successful apart from hitting A-Fox.
Oh, it's big.
There we go, going to knock him to the ground. Crocs lying on his back, but still, no one able to come in. That bomb coming in from Moth deterred the flow. Here comes the Nano Boost from Crocs again as he presses forward, but he's knocked back by the team, and they're playing behind the payload, trying to keep themselves in cover. The bomb will stop any aggression coming out from Morsey as he looks to get a fast remake in here. And he will keep the aggression from coming in Shoes Money Crew, but they got this payload teetering on this corner as a flank came out from Mouse. There's the sound barrier to keep AT in this fight and re-push the issue as AFOX will find out Crocs. And they are going to keep the payload moving back against Shoes Money Crew. But again, it's still in that issue here where I'm not seeing AT doing anything decisively in terms of dominating the kill feed. I don't know if that's AT being too slow to the punch or SMC just being incredibly fast with the calls, like, back out, we've lost, let's go.
Yeah, Shoes Money Crew extremely resilient. And you saw that in the moment, the fact, oh, another
again,
one!
Mousey just finding out the mouths, and he's then going to also be punished by Kevster for that in the form of the die. So there was a recontest coming out from Shoes Money Crew, not going to be succeeded as Angry Titans will push on to the second section of this map.
And once again, a lot of ultimates available, but Shoes Money Crew, as I was saying before, they're very resilient. I like the way that they slowly back it up until they have another Nano Boost that they can use to force themselves into the throes of Angry Titans' front line and basically try and build some ultimates from there. And then by the time the fight is about to finish, another Nano Boost is online, keeping Crocs in that fight for just that moment longer that Shoes Money Crew need. Angry Titans over there, they're starting to build a little bit more momentum. Now they have the ultimates, and I was very happy to see Fat hold on to that sound barrier, which was the key that allowed Angry Titans to split up and basically dismantle Shoes Money Crew slowly but surely.
Kevster does not want to fall into the mouse trap, and he won't as he drops that Graviton Surge. Bionade actually going to boost all the healing there, but you can't heal that! Morsey comes in with the self-destruct and knocks them all for 6. Shoes Money Crew gonna have to come out with a scrappy defense to stop them moving into the final section.
Yeah, and if it is scrappy here, we see Ding switch over to Zenyatta here, knowing that he needs to do more damage, he needs to clean up this fight. If they want to finish this here, they have to get to the point quickly, but Super Blue will be waiting alongside Fat for a big shatter.
He's going to move that Reinhardt into the danger zone. The shadow will still find none. I like the initiative, I like the plan, but the execution was poor. And speaking of being executed, Fat and Urki on the block as the guillotine comes down. Shoes Money Crew now will take control of this payload in the final meters of point B. The issue being is when we see this payload get stopped on this map in particular, going off of what we saw last round, it's hard to get the engine jump started again.
Yeah, so they're going to have to be doing some hot wiring here, especially with this rally that will be coming shortly. Getting into the back line again, they have that soundbar. They can use this versus Shoes Money Crew. Ding will be waiting and ready with that Transcendence to keep his team alive. I'm most worried about Crocs and this shatter. He has felt a little bit shaky at the moment, but Gustav, what are you doing, mate?
He was riding the wall a little bit too hard. A-Fox able to pick him off, so what could have been a cemented hold is now going to fall apart here. 3 ults on the board, make that 4 as the rally is going to be popped immediately by Obling. Going to have to use that in absence of Gustav and pop that additional healing. There's that Graviton Surge into the sound barrier as they will find no kills off the back end of that, but the resources are being committed. Shatter down. There's the self-destruct, denies it, still finds Gustav. He comes into the fight, only to go back to the spawn room. He's not unable to do anything in this one as AT will be able to push into Shoes Money Crew. They need to find a way to get more kills though. The self-destruct buys time and now Fat goes down as well. AT have to retreat with 50 seconds on the clock. They've got 1, and if they're lucky, maybe 2 fights left.
That was a huge pick at the beginning of that fight. Onto Super Blue, another
It's
stagger.
1 fight now, Blank. Urki's been taken out on the retreat, and they might find some more, but thankfully AT had got themselves to safety.
Yeah, they're not having a good time of it today, Tridd. They just keep getting staggered. Shoes Money Crew pressing the issue time and again. Super Blue has to come up big here if they want to do it, to finish point B even. Luckily, a shatter can't be eaten, but it can be blocked.
20 seconds remaining. This is what they need Pollitt to do, land the hammer. He's going to need some assistance from his team to make it work, otherwise you're doing a bit of a Hail Mary. When it all rides on the hammer, it's going to have to be big. Going to aggress onto Crocs, hoping to mind game him. The stun out of it! That was the win condition for AT! They may be able to do it without, but it's not looking good. Mouse, get that grab off, lands it, shatter into the back line as well as they collapse onto AT. Shoes Money Crew are going to force out a map number 5.
It's the tallest nails that get hammered first, and here it is, it's Angry Titans. They are unable to finish. Like you say, Tridd, we will be going to Ilios here. Shoes Money Crew, they have one final stand on Ilios to bring this one back. Both teams under pressure now.
And this is where some of these newer players may find and falter, because we call it BMT, big match temperament right now. Going to a game 5 in your debut can be a little bit daunting. It's not something that players are necessarily alien to, because they've obviously competed in other competitions outside of Contenders, but the stakes are a little bit higher now. So I'm looking to Crocs to top off what has been an excellent debut series by keeping the mental strong, moving into map 5. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to bring you the definitive conclusion of this first series. Oh, baby, what a way to start the first series of the season. We're going to map number 5. Shoes Money Crew have done nothing but impress against the adversity that is the Angry Titans. Albeit one that is still dealing with a new roster after a couple of their players were sent off to greener pastures. But it's impressive nonetheless, Blank, as we're moving into map number 5, Ilios, to end it all.
It's a burner of a way to start a season, right? A map 5 already. Last season, I think it took us a while before we got a map 5 going.
We didn't get a lot of map 5s last season, I don't think.
We didn't. And I think this season was...
In before someone goes online and checks them, turns out we have like loads and I've just forgotten.
I think that really this season looks close. I think last season was a bit of a parity era for us, where we had so many teams brought together, because 3-3 is a composition where a lot of people can do very well on it, and it's small bounds forward where teams start to excel.
I think EU is kind of like a broth in the sense that it's like bubbling up to the top, and you're just skimming off that top layer constantly, and eventually you end up with just this liquid and clear. You can see all the way through it. Everything is equal within that mixture, and I feel that's what every season we move closer to, as some of our best players get exported out. The talent pool becomes more equal, and so they can all grow together.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think that's what's really nice. And I think this season we're going to see the exact same thing going. We've already seen players like Crocs and Ding, who have had an amazing first-time performance here for us. Obviously, Ding, he was here a while ago, but Crocs, this is a new lad on the block.
I think it is generally the newer players who are impressing most in this series. I think when I look over to AT, I think Morsi has had a fantastic series as well.
Yeah, he really has. Yeah, he's been so consistent, so stable for Angry Titans, despite a lot of their failing moments within this series. But they have had some shining moments too, almost blindingly so.
Yeah, 2 eats as well. He shut down Mouse quite handily there. So, we do have a lot of hungry divas in EU, but you're already getting some consumptions on the board. It's good in my books. Let's see if we can keep it up into map number 5. And this is where it's really going to count here, because we already talked about the BMT, the big match temperament. It's Angry Titans rolling out onto Ruins to seal the deal in this first series.
Yeah, this is where it starts to get tough, ladies and gents. It is all down to this. Whoever takes this one will be the winners of the first match of the season. Already an explosive start.
We're going to have A-Fox go for the heals already. That's a very low HP Morsi. Has to retreat off, does not want to get DMEC. Thankfully, the Mega is there because AT pushed so far forward, they have territory control.
Yeah, Choose Money Crew, they're playing it safe for the time being. Gustav once again doing his wall ridey thing, and A-Fox definitely trying to remove him from that position. Kevster, very high charge already.
Hopefully that wall ridey thing doesn't become a wall ridey feed like it did on Havana.
Yep, that was very unfortunate.
And Super Fluke has that Shadow pressing forward. Crocs has already found Fat. Just the evolution falls down, and Crocs again with the second swing. On the Super Fluke. A Shoes Money Crew will be able to take control of this first point despite a minimal ult advantage in favor of AT. That's completely swinging the other way. If they can do this while keeping resources in-house, they can get a flip at 30% and look to build from there.
Yeah, and using that rally towards the end means they have that added premium of the extra armor here on Shoes Money Crew, whereas Angry Titans, they have nothing to show for Urki's rally. Mouse, he's got the grab online. Kevs doesn't quite have his yet, so there's no chance for a counter grab in this moment, should Mouse choose to drop it down early. But as we've seen, Mouse is a very patient Zarya, likes to make sure his grabs hit after last season.
Crocs throws the hammer down. No one's going to be faulted then from that, apart from Fat, and then they're going to trade those Graviton Surges. Mouse is all by the way by himself, and Ding launches himself across. Mouth will still find Kevster though. The shadow coming out from Super cancelled out by Obling, who's been fantastic at pressuring Super Fluke all series. Will keep his teammate alive with the help of a bash.
Obling is such an aggressive Brigitte. He is the monkey on the back right now for Super Fluke. You just can't get rid of this boy. He's just always on him. Now Shoes Money Crew, they're in a good position. Both teams low on ultimates, but Mouse, he's got that added bonus of having 40 charge. 20 charge is the basic point you want to be, where 2 bubbles will take him to that 100 charge where it feels good. He starts to buzz, right?
They're going to get the bowl rotation off in the next engagement. A little bit of parkour coming out from Shoes Money Crew, but they will retreat back to the point where it's most important. Fat has to move in. Amp up with the heals. You saw critical health across the board there. Has got the sound barrier, potentially to go aggressively with, and that's exactly what he's going to do as he dives in and matches. Big shadow from Crocs. Will knock down Pluke, who has got the healing available for him. Trading away with those charges, but they're not going to find anyone as the slam down comes in. Discord Orb was found onto Crocs, and that's all she wrote. The flank coming in, able to get that done. Fantastic there as Molf will not escape, but will opt to go potentially there and get himself back to safety when he's in that D-Mech form, as Super Quick will press forward. The rest of the Kevs do as well, but this is danger zone now for AT. Shoes Money Crew have forced it into 99% territory. One fight is all they need to take away this first round.
Yeah, and that's exactly where they want to be in this moment. Shoes Money Crew also held on to a lot of their ultimates there. Mouse holding to grab, Morphig onto the Diva Mech. I think they learned after that point C on Hollywood that, you know what, some fights are lost. You don't need to keep taking those fights. We can come back with a better economy. And they have that to show here.
He's going to press forward with that Graviton Surge. Going to potentially drop that down. Being very cautious. Wait for the right time to get it. Urki being the primary target of that one. We'll find more. Right click comes in. Shatter shuts down the momentum. It's big from Super Pluke because the self-destruct sits on the back line. Not to find any because the Fire Strike and the orbs from A-Fox were enough. This is full retreat for Shoes Money Crew. AT pressing into that upper echelon of percentage. They're not going to have ults on the board to do it. Different story for Shoes Money Crew. Are going to come back with 3.
Yeah, SMC get absolutely super nuked there. They have nothing to do in that situation. They all fall down. Super Luke has been really clutch a lot of times when it comes to these shatters. And I think I like the notion that Mouse had there, which was just get rid of Urki in this situation. We can come in looking fresh. But now, both teams, they have that rally on Lions about it. But Gustav, he has that sound barrier, has to use it effectively here.
Self-destruct used very early from Morph, using it quite defensively, like we've already pointed out here. Crocs going to be reinvigorated by that sound barrier. Morsy's already got D-Mech, going to throw a shot down straight onto Urki. Orbit Discord immediately onto him.
Wonderful.
Has to hold his shield to keep himself alive. There's the flip coming in for Shoes Money Crew. They will take round number 1 on Ilios and deny the Titans the best foot forward when it comes to map number 5.
Oh, Crocs had some serious swagger when it came to the end of that fight. Moving forward, shattered down, and then looked as if he was just going to keep going, and then immediately the shield comes up and Super Pluke can do nothing but watch as his entire shatter gets blocked there, and that's what Angry Titans needed to finish that round out. But they can't keep relying on Super Pluke's shatter to finish these fights out in a pinch.
This is what I wanted to see, Blank. Well,
here we are.
We already talked about it, and AT are making the switch up already. I want to see him commit to this and play around with it. Shoes Money Crew not showing the hints of the bunker-flavored composition. AT already, they're eyeing it up to move in.
Yep. AT know what they want to do here. Shoes Money Crew, on the other hand, it looks like they are going to play with this floats composition with the monkey on board. I think if you can dislodge the Orisa early on, it's great. But once the Orisa is in place, she's very good at defending the point. So here in this point, I think the major thing to watch out for is how well this first fight goes. If it goes in the favor of Shoes Money Crew, you can almost expect them to take well here and now.
They're pressing around, not playing near the exterior. The hook already coming in for Mouse. He's taking a dip. That was not what you wanted to kick things off. And he's basically going to give the first cap over to Angry Titans, who will now be able to play so defensively with this point.
Yeah, it was a long hook as well. Oh my god, from
max
down.
range.
Yeah, Gustav actually picks up Super Pluke though, and Orisa, she's a slow target. That could actually be really good for Shoes Money Crew. The respawns are here, and it's a very fast composition. It can get back to the point in time. This could be huge for them.
You can see AT are conceding that ground. They're playing around territory instead because they know they don't have the shield coming out from Orisa. But Morsey going with the hook immediately. Oh, Mouse again! How does he not understand that Morsey has an extremely good read on where he's moving? This is just free time. He may as well just be walking over and giving him clocks at this point. It's just unbelievable.
I don't know what kind of bait he's got at the end of that hook, but Mouse, he is coming in for it every single time, so it's got to be good.
It's got to be cheese.
It's got to be cheese, dude. This Mouse, it just wants it, and it's falling for the trap each time.
Let's hopefully he won't do it again. He's going to walk forward. Morsey's got the hook ready. No.
Come on.
He can't fall for this again. Surely not.
Ooh.
Oh, the hook cancelled. Oh, he's taking a dip himself. Gustav finally giving a taste of the own medicine to Morsey. as Shoes Money Crew will find a way into this one, but Pluke turning it back around. Gustav goes for the over-the-top boot. Tactical visor pop by Kevster, rattling down that shield. Finds two on the back line. Molf and Crocs unable to survive. So despite losing Morsey, AT are staying strong, 60% and climbing.
Yeah, I think despite everything, Morsey has just got Angry Titans off to one hell of a start here on Well. It's going to be so difficult for Shoes Money Crew to pull this one back, especially with the ult economy lead. I think Well may be forfeit for Shoes Money Crew, and this will have to finish on Lighthouse.
Dangerous. Dangerous proposition coming in there. You can already see AT there. They got the Molten Core available from Urki and the Transcendence. Kevster looking to build towards that ult with the Soldier. Applying pressure to Mouse, who's already gone down to 50% HP. Sound Barrier comes out, Orb of Harmony is there, press forward. Morphing's already there, they're going to drop the Molten Core onto the ground, and the Orisa is going to play around that as an extra layer, almost like a defensive ultimate, as the Transcendence comes sweeping in from Ding. Supercharger immediately shut down by Molf, as Urki is pressed back. He doesn't have the Overlord on cooldown, so Crocs will deal with him quite handedly. The backline's been eradicated. It's all well and good having an Orisa, but there's nothing to support there. Morsey surely has to die, but he gets out with a sliver of HP, and then goes back for the hill from Take a Breather. Shoes Money Crew have done enough to get them back on Well.
Gustav is popping off, and rightly so. This guy has to redeem himself for Havana in a big way. Angry Titans, they used a lot of ultimates in the last fight. If Super decides to stay on this Orisa and try to retake with Orisa, it seems like a strange move. It definitely can be done. Oh, she's got boosters, mate. It's fine. It's fine.
Well, I was waiting to see who was on the end of that line.
I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. If history's taught us anything, we were going to be probably seeing Mouse on the end of the line.
I held my breath, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, it was Molf, and he was able to have those boosters to get out of this one. That floats composition, diving it back in. There's that self-destruct, and Kev's already popped the attack visor, so he's going to have a lot of time with this burn straight by virtue of that. We do get Molfig before he can get the remech in there. Jumps back around for the safety of his team. Applying pressure onto the back line. Ding's found one as well as Mouse. So not able to get that foothold. 50% is guaranteed for Shoes Money Crew, but they're looking more like 60 right now, assuming that a cheeky flip doesn't come in from AT.
Yeah, I think what Super Luke is waiting here for is the Supercharger. If he can get it online and come back to the point, it could be big. Kevster now moving over to the Zarya. I think Angry Titans, back to the Doomfist. Okie dokie. He's not sure he wants to play. Shoes Money Crew, on the other hand, they have double support ultimates, so they are very, very resilient coming into this next push here. Potentially, if they can make this fight last long enough, they can hit that 99% mark and just flip it here. Maybe I was wrong after all. Maybe we don't see Lighthouse.
They've got some ults in the bag. 2 support ultimates available. Primal Rage as well. There's the fist coming in from Kevster. Has to jump immediately back out of that one. So in and out just very quickly. Getting the healing from his team. Will reposition Crocs, who tries to get back. He's actually in the hole. Has the uppercut available to get back in here. Crocs with the Primal Rage. Pops it and then uses the jump immediately in midair. Stops him from dying to the environmental. As AT is now playing around that Molten Core. Morph has found Kevster. As Morsey has the shrapnel to be able to shoot away Shoes Money Crew, but he's stunned out of it by Obling, who's the master denier when it comes to this Brigitte. 99% overtime. This map could go either way, Blank.
It's Panic Picks now. Dings on the Doomfist. Can he do something with it? Morsey, so very low, does go down. Shoes Money Crew doing this.
They've had enough time. Super Blue's got no support here. He'll be burned through. The seismic slam into the rocket punch from Molf is not enough. Fat needs to try and contend this one, but they've got his number. They're going to be able to take him out. You haven't got anyone in line. The Meteor Strike comes in with the nick of time, but it will not be enough. Shoes Money Crew storming off the starting line into this season, and they've had a fantastic performance to take a victory away from our returning champions.
Temple Anubis all over again there, Tridd, where the retake is strong from Shoes Money Crew. What a great performance we've seen from the day. And yeah, their debut is really, really good here versus Angry Titans. Angry Titans, they're going to lick their wounds. They're going to come back in later on. And I'm sure they're going to do well. They've shown us they're a great team, but Shoes Money Crew, they're a team to be feared. And yeah, sure, people joke around, but this team may be a Titan after all.
Looking to potentially contend with them as well, but Gustav had a fantastic performance on Well. He was able to get a few picks off there with the environmentals. We were having a bit of a laugh and a joke when it came to Mounts, who did fall prey to too many hooks.
I still think he expected it, to be honest.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. And Miles used that shame to correct his mistakes. He didn't fall victim to it yet again. Taking a look back at Hollywood, our map number 3. Big slam there coming in from Super Pluke. He did that multiple times on Hollywood, especially when he was looking defensively to shut down the offense from Shoes Money Crew when we came round to the second attempts.
Yeah, I think that overall, really happy with Ding, though.
Yeah.
Ding is a great player that we've seen.
Hasn't lost his edge.
Hasn't? No, not at all. The blade is still very sharp. I think that's something that Shoes Money Crew definitely needed, though. I think Slur was a great addition to the team, and obviously he's gone on to do great things. But I think Ding is an excellent replacement, and he's been showing that today. I think when he can get those picks like that, a free composition just falls under the weight of a great Zen.
You've also got to remember that Ding does have a fire underneath him. Shoes Money Crew have a substitution in the form of I'll be the best.
Yeah.
And he's just nipping at the heels, ready to get into this lineup and get some playtime, because he's one of these newer players when it comes to Contenders, at least. He obviously had performances in trials. So there's a fire underneath Ding to perform, and he's kind of set a good benchmark here. He just has to keep building on it and not lose momentum, because if he does, he'll find himself in that substitution spot, and we might see another debut for SMC.
Yeah, I think definitely something that it could happen, but from seeing the way Ding played today, yeah, you're right. There is a fire underneath him, and it shows just from the way he's been playing. I think if Shoes Money Crew can show up a couple of the mistakes they have, for instance, when they lose momentum, they can't let that get to them. They did show that they had corrected that a little bit come Ilios, where they struggled on well, but brought it back in a big way, not falling prey to the pressure, which definitely is Predator in a lot of these high-stake matchups.
And I also think that Mouse has been in the situation here where he's getting a greater level of support from his team right now, and it's facilitated growth as an individual.
Oh, yeah,
I definitely think this is a different Mouse to what we saw based on his performance from last season. And that's got to be a team element as well in order to facilitate that. We can't put all of the success, no matter how good you are, on self-improvement. But I like what I'm seeing from SMC. That's the most important takeaway from series number 1, actually, is that SMC actually could be a contender this season.
For sure. And taking a look at Angry Titans, I think they have replaced their front line magnificently in the short time that they had to do it as well. Picking up Kev Stamorzi and Super Pluke, these guys have just clicked. It's rare to see that in a front line where they just click despite being different players from different teams. The synergy is there, and I think we were talking about before, where this team could be definitely a slow burner who we see rise to greatness towards the end of the season. We will have to watch more to find out, but so far, Shoes Money Crew, they're the one to fear.
And I use this analogy at the beginning of the series, is that the concrete of Shoes Money Crew, of Angry Titans, is still setting.
Yes.
Shoes Money Crew have just walked over, dipped both their handprints in there and written their name in that one. And that's just going to set now. And that scar is going to be there on AT for the rest of the season, because if you're dropping maps this early on, you might hit thresholds here where you miss out on that first round bye, and that can make or break a playoff run when it comes to the end of the season.
Yeah, and that's something that you really have to be wary of. And I think, if anything, AT, they can come back stronger than they did before. They've lost some staff members as well, obviously picking up Ilka to help Raf out. I think he did an excellent job with Atlanta Rain as well. They went much further than people expected them to in Atlanta Showdown. And I think if he can continue to keep working his team, yeah, it can do really well.
Should be able to have a great time on this roster as well. It can only go up from here for both of these teams. They've set excellent benchmarks on the first week on their debut matchup.
Fantastic.
We're going to go to a quick break. When we come back, we're going to bring you our second series of the night. And I know a lot of people are excited to see the debut of Clockwork Vendetta.